Hey guys, Eric with Bricksville. So today we're going to be reviewing set number 7199, which is the Temple of Doom. It was available from June 2009 until December 2010. It originally went for $89.99. Now, new, it goes for about $500. Used, it goes for about $300. Me and my wife actually just rewatched this movie last night because I wanted to, I love this movie, but I wanted to remember the whole scenes. And we're going to see if this set lives up to the actual Temple of Doom in that movie. This set includes 6 minifigs, 5 of which are actually exclusive to this set. The only one that appears in another set is actually Short Round, which we'll go over in a second. But from left to right, we have Indiana Jones, which there's really no need for introduction here. But what's different on this one is he has his shirt open, which for anybody who's seen the movie, which if you haven't, definitely go watch the movie, but you probably have. He said he does a lot of the movie in the third act shirtless. So this one is kind of, I think, paying an homage to that and just kind of just showing a little bit of skin. But the hat on here, it doesn't have any hairpiece, which was typical to this line. There's rumors that in the upcoming sets, they're going to do a hair hat combo, which is really exciting if they actually do that. Second one on here is Short Round, who I was talking about. He is in another set. This both, especially, it kind of affects all of these, but especially on Short Round and Willie Scott, which we'll get to next. Their faces are typical for the Indiana Jones lines, but honestly, if you put that head on another minifig body, I'm not sure that I could tell you that that's what that character was. So that doesn't really match the actors as well as I think it should. But I'm glad that they had Short Round in this set. The only other change that I would do with it is the hat. I wish they had done it as a New York Yankees ball cap, which I don't know if they couldn't because of licensing or some other thing like that. But even if they were to do like a generic baseball team, I think that would have been better. But next up is Willie Scott, which they do the nice naked midriff on there. And this is in the sacrificial outfit from the last scene. They don't do the headdress on the hair, it's just simple hair. But the actual outfit itself, minus the headpiece, is pretty accurate to the movie. Next up, we have Mola Ram. He was actually the leader of the Thuggee cult. I probably said that wrong, but the Thuggee cult. And the best part about this entire minifig is on his hat piece, which it's supposed to be jawbones from an animal down on the side. And they do a pretty decent deal of that. But on the top, it's actually a shrunken head, and they do a small minifig head on there. So that was probably the coolest detail of all. But his face, I think, matches pretty well to the actor, and I would recognize him. And then next are the Guard 1 and Guard 2. Guard 2 was that big guy who battled them at the end and also forced down the Kali blood down Indiana Jones's throat. So overall, the minifigs are great. The complaints that I have on them are kind of across the line and just kind of little nitpicky things, but this is a great lineup of minifigs for this set, and you can build pretty much any scene in this area of the movie from these minifigs. So the main structure of this set is actually so big that I'm going to actually have to pan down to see everything. But on the top here is the temple where they worshipped and did human sacrifice to the god Kali Ma. And what's cool is they have the 3 Shankara stones, which in this movie they were hunting for the 2 other ones, the 4th and 5th. But you have the 3 in here. They ended up using a bionicle eye for these, but I like the effect, because the only other piece that I could think of that would work is they have like a gold nugget piece, but they've never done it in translucent, and this one works beautifully. Plus the minifigs can hold it in their hand, so it works. Now, in the movie, they sacrifice them by putting them inside of a little container, lifting them up, pivoting them, and then lowering them into the lava below. But with this, it does have the trap door, which didn't really drop off without anything in it, but it has a little pin here that you can kind of see right there that goes in and out and blocks the door. But then on top here, you just got the flames and just kind of the horns. And now I'm not really criticizing this because this would have been a big ask, but like in the movie up above, there's like this giant Kali Ma kind of demon thing. And then the whole lowering mechanism, that would have been cool, but also that probably would have brought up the price significantly. But then down below, because all of this was over a mining operation, is just this giant structure with these dual molded translucent orange and dark bluish gray mountain pieces to kind of do like the lava, and then you got lava down here. They also include these little fire stands so you can have the lava down below. But the actual structure of this, I mean, it helps to lift it up and put it above the tracks, but it's pretty empty. There's a few little minor details down here, kind of gemstones, kind of there's a thing here where you can lower a sword to be chopping. But there's not a whole, like, mainly the point of this, like this is all kind of like set dressing. The main point of it is just to lift up this main structure over the tracks. So this set takes up an enormous amount of floor space, but I'm actually glad that it does, because this track system that they made was actually the first track system that was kind of 3D and led to what they do with coasters now. Because before this, they, like, all the track was meant for actual trains, and it was kind of stuck to the ground. This narrow track system they made for Indiana Jones, which allowed for things like these drops and just, well, mainly the drops, but the curves and having the anti-studs on the bottom so that you'd be able to create this lifted system. Now, it was innovative for the time, but also at the same time, it kind of failed. I'll show in a second, but these carts, they don't roll all the way down because you always have to balance whether you're going to get the speed that it's going to kind of flow nicely or whether it's going to fly off. Later on in the Joker's manor, they introduced the current roller coaster pieces, which kind of lock it to the rail, which is a much better system for doing this. And I wish they had that piece back then when they were making this, but this is historical for what it was able to inspire and do. All right, so I got the track set up here, and I'm going to try to show when you push it down, you can essentially, it just flies off when it hits things. But even if you don't have that in the way, try it again. There's too much friction for it to flow seamlessly, and then it stops constantly. Like, even when it goes down this first dip, it kind of stops on this one. So this is actually, it's really good for like positioning these out, because while you're not going to be able to put it on the slope like this, you can put it pretty much anywhere else and it's not going to go rolling around. But if you're trying to actually make something that you can kind of shoot down there and be like, ha ha ha, it's not really the best for that. The last part of the structure is the kind of rock coal tower. Now this, in the movie, Indiana Jones reaches up, hits some kind of lever or switch, and dumps these rocks on the bad guys. So in this one, you could load it up with more, but it gives you a few little black 1x1 rounds. But when you pull this, it kind of all flows out. But that was, I mean, for that just a little drop feature, I'm glad they put this on there. One, it helps anchor the whole track system, and then it provides an interesting thing on both ends. So it's not just the temple on one side and then nothingness on the other. So this was definitely a good inclusion here that stayed with the original storyline and helped kind of with more of the structural and kind of weight of the set. So overall, I love the set. If you were to pick one scene in the entire movie to make a set off of, this is what I would do. Now, they did do the Shanghai chase, which we may cover on another time, but this is definitely the biggest and best set. Now, if I were to get greedy and do like something that I'd want to do in addition to this, I would love if they had the track run around and then split off, because the Maharaja said that to take the left one, which of course they took the right. So, but honestly, that's just being nitpicky and greedy. But the set, with the little details of having the shrunken head on his headdress as a little minifig head, and just the different printings on here. Overall, great. Now, if you were to do a different set from this movie, what would it be? For me, I wish they had done where the scene with all the bugs on the floor and in the walls and crawling up the necks and everything. The whole time we were watching that last night, my wife was just screaming the entire time. But what other scene in this movie would you have done? So that's our video for today. Please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications, and we'll be back with the next one. Thanks.